I'm going to share a couple of books with you today. They have been transformational in not only just in healing my own life, but honestly, they have been huge in my relationships, especially with my family. I was able to come at parenting from a better perspective. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. My cat just walked in, and I am not even kidding you. This whole last week, every time I hop on to do a video, it's a whole story. So anyway, all right, so back to the book. So they were completely transformational in not only my own growth and learning how to love and embrace myself for who I am, but just in my relationships with my family, understanding my son and why the way I had parented just did not work, or recognizing that, wow, really, my husband is not flawed. He is perfect the way he is, and being able to understand and come at life from a completely different perspective. It was so wonderful to really help my marriage and understanding the way that he moves through life and how I move through life. And we were suddenly able to stop trying to change each other, because that's never going to happen. We cannot change other people, but we were able to embrace each other for who we are, and instead of trying to feel like we had to fix things by changing ourselves, because that's not a healthy way to come at things. So the first one, it is Carol Tuttle. It's Just My Nature. And you know what? I'm recognizing this is probably going to be backwards, so that's going to have to be okay. Several years ago, around 2011, I had decided to make a list of, like, if God were making me like a, cake or something, like what would be the ingredients, like how he created me, because I really do believe that we are created from God, that we are his creation. And so this was like the very, very first of my healing journey, and because I had so felt like I had lost myself, that I remembered back to when I was like 7, 8, and I knew that I was like still in integrity with who I was, and that I was always just me, and I had lost that, and I had been lost for so long. And so I had that idea to like write a list of the like ingredients, that if Heavenly Father made me, what would those ingredients be? And I actually wish I had this off the top of my head. I actually have it on a post on my blog. I will actually link to that one too, because you can actually see the picture that I, like the page, I actually put it on my post. But on there were things like kind and generous and fun, and just these different aspects of me. And when I was finished, and I mean, I really had to tune in and get real. And try to look at it from a perspective, not from me, but like through God's eyes almost. And I looked at the list when I was done, and there was not one single thing, not one was a negative, or what I would call a negative quality. And I mean, I know that, other people would be like, oh, you're random, and they might consider that negative, but that's not me. I'm not going to put a judgment on that. I was seeing all of these different ingredients or qualities about me and who I am through a positive light. So I did that, and then it was about a year later that I found Carol's book. And as I was reading it, it was like that second witness to me of, wow, these are like the things that in each piece, like she has different sections, and I was recognizing these things that I had just listed out a year before, and so it was really nice to recognize, oh, this is who I am. And I had this interesting experience when I was someplace, and I had said for a little while, I was like, oh, the only thing that I have ever been consistent at in my whole entire life has been being inconsistent. And it was this funny thing. But then on my list that I had made, I knew I was adaptable, and I could like quickly make these changes to my plans, that if somebody needed me, or if somebody wanted to do something else, I was like, sure, we can do that. That's not a problem. And after I had read the book, I recognized that one of the things that are part of my nature was that adaptability, and how for the first time in my life I realized that that is an opposite to being like really specifically consistent, and that you can't be both. You are one or the other, and this world needs both. And so we need people who are adaptable, and we need people who are consistent, like consistently consistent, not like consistent at being inconsistent. And so it was wonderful. And then I loved that later she actually put out another book. It's called The Child Whisperer. And this one is applying it specifically to kids, but I loved it too because I was able to like go through and read it and see from like my childhood perspective all of these places that just doubly verified, I guess, I don't know if that's even a thing, but just verified again that that this was true, and this was helping me to recognize who I am and not trying to be somebody that I'm not, and how that is helping me to live in my integrity of myself. So I wanted to share those books today. They were wonderful. They still are wonderful, but I've listened to them and read them enough that it's like, I don't know that I could quote from them, but I don't necessarily feel like I had the need to listen or read them. Rarely ever. Maybe I'll look up something specific for somebody, but hello, Kendra. I was just wondering if I ever had anybody give me like a message, or if somebody like popped on to watch, would I even know? So yay, I'm glad that I know now. But so but I'm not willing to lend these out on the off chance that I ever didn't get them back. So now I just send people a link. It's like, here, you can go buy it. It's really good. It's worth every penny. So Child Whisperer and Just My Nature, link to my blog post where I reference the ingredient list, or I actually went through afterwards and I made it fun. I kind of did the across, and I did some down, and then you'll see it. It totally makes sense because of the way that I did it. I originally listed it, but then I made it fun because I'm about having fun. So, all right, I don't think that there's anything else I was going to cover today, but I just wanted to share those. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend and a wonderful Friday, and just make today a wonderful day. And love you, and we'll see you. I don't know if I'll get on tomorrow or not. I'll still post something, but if you don't see me tomorrow, you'll probably see me Sunday or Monday. I've actually been thinking about reading a kid's version of Byron Katie's book, Tiger, Tiger. So maybe I'll hop on and do that Sunday, and we'll have a little story hour of little kids books that have really great teaching tools, because quite frankly, sometimes making it super simple for kids makes it super simple for adults too. So, all right, love you. Bye-bye.